need to get out of this car!
Maybe we should go back!
No! No, we've come too far!
Thought this might be of interest to you.
The Ark. Real page turner.
Just read it, let me know what you think.
Dad, isn't this the type of thing that got you kicked out of Virginia Tech?
Jehovah is God.
Ah, Noah.
And he is bringing his judgment to the earth. He's covering it completely with a flood. He commanded me to build this ship.
Man, look at me, though! You know that!
Maybe we should go back! Get out of here!
Jimmy!
I feel so lost.
We are not lost. We are together.
I could end up in a wheelchair in a year or so. I could get so bad that I can't provide for you or raise kids.
When I met you, I believed in you. And then because of who you are and how you are, I believed in Jehovah.
So if God has given you the grace to get this far, then he will give us the grace to make this work.
There it is. So if it's up there and we find it,
Yeah?
what happens then?
We changed the world.
And there you have it. That is the Struck promo trailer, the proof of concept. That's the 2-minute version. You can see the full version at strucktheseries.com. So you want to check that out. Well, here we are. This is our 3rd episode with Struck Live. And I'm so excited today because I have Todd Denson, who plays John Morris. You just saw him in the trailer. And, you know, it's been such a joy working with him. And I can't wait to sit down today and talk more with Todd about playing John, about the whole project, and a little bit about what he's been doing since the project, and even before being involved with Struck. So that's coming. So I can't wait to share that with you. But listen, this is Struck the Series, you guys, and this thing is happening. And I want to tell you guys also that you can go to strucktheseries.com, as I mentioned, and that's where you're going to find all kinds of information on the series. You can join our socials also. We're on, I think, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the above. So you can go on there and listen. We really need you guys to make this happen. Here's the thing, is that just like Chosen, just like Sound of Freedom, those are successful series and projects. And Struck is the same thing. We're going to need you guys to get involved to make all of this happen. So it's an exciting thing because you get a chance to make a series, to create a series yourself and say, yep, I want that. I'm tired of the darkness. I want something incredible. I want something that's going to make a change in the world. So that is Struck the Series. And you can go, when you go to the website, what's really cool is that you can become a Lightning Club member. What that's going to do is that's going to give you actually access to the Struck Bolt newsletter. We send it once a month. We're not going to sell your information, but you can sign up to be a Lightning Club member, and that gives you first access to all the latest happenings in the series. So any developments, you're going to know before anyone else knows, and that's through the Struck Bolt newsletter. So it's important you get involved. And I'm just saying, you guys, we have a chance. Now, entertainment is changing. Now we have the opportunity to make a huge, huge difference in entertainment. And we can actually make that difference because Struck the Series only can happen if you get involved. So make sure you get involved, sign up with the Lightning Club. And then also, here's the cool thing. There's a bunch of stuff on the website. There's information about the series. There's cast, there's team members, all of that's there. But here's the cool thing. Struck merchandise. I love this because you can make a statement of faith with Struck by God. There's t-shirts, there's mugs, there's toboggans, as you see there. There's all kinds of stuff that you can purchase. And when you purchase, not only are you making a statement of faith and promoting Struck, you also are contributing because all proceeds go to the development of the series. And right now, because it's Christmas, we're offering a discount. So you can use the promo code Struck10. And when you use that promo code, that's actually going to get you a discount on any merchandise that you purchase. So it's important to use that Struck 10 to get that discount. And listen, we just also, what's really cool, we have got the Struck by God collection. We also have the new No More Rock Monsters. And here's the cool thing about that. It's kind of a fun take on merchandise because there was a film a while back called Noah. And in this film, they kind of went off the rails. I'm serious. They went off the rails. They left the scripture behind and they had rock monsters. I don't know why, but they just decided to put in rock monsters. So we had this really great collection of t-shirts and mugs and dog tags and more. But you can go to strucktheseries.com, click merchandise, and purchase this merchandise. And like I said, you don't want to miss this because it's Christmas. It's a great time to gift. And it's also, hey, listen, I got the Struck t-shirt, Struck by God t-shirt. I got this. I got a mug. So you may see that today. And I got dog tags and other stuff. I got a cap too. It's embroidered. It's really great. But anyway, you guys need to get involved, and that is the way to do it. Go to the website. So here's the deal. I want to introduce someone that, well, as you can tell, we're talking about Todd Denson today, and Todd plays the role of John Morris that you just saw in the trailer. And I want you guys to welcome this incredible actor. He's now a friend of mine. I just enjoyed working with him on set. This guy is just true. And I'm so excited that he's gotten involved in the project and he's here. And so Todd, welcome Todd to the stage here. Hey Todd, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Straight from Los Angeles, right?
Oh yeah, South Pasadena. So just a touch outside of the actual city limits, but still in LA County.
Yes. Well, we're so glad that you're here. And I'm excited to kind of get to know you better because when we're working on set, it's so fast and furious. And I think the last time I saw you, we were at the content and we took home several awards. I think we took home the best promo trailer. We were gifted with $5,000 for the development of Struck, which is amazing. I think there was only 4 folks that were gifted with that, and so it was just incredible. I was so pumped. But we were on the red carpet taking pictures, and it was a lot of fun. But listen, how long actually have you been acting? I'd love for people to know kind of your background, a little background before we start talking about Struck.
Yeah, first and foremost, thanks everybody for tuning in and checking out the series and supporting us. Ben, thanks for having me on. Like you said, I mean, we really kind of like transcended that sort of like work relationship and become friends. So that's been exciting. Since, my parents put me in kind of like the school plays and kind of like the church plays when I was young, I really just kind of had like a calling to try to do that from a very, very young age. It was like, I want to play pretend, I want to play pretend. And so I started doing it, did a few shows. Middle school was kind of like when I like really really got the bug initially. So I kind of did a few school plays. Then flash forward, I guess, to high school, I ended up, I also played college soccer. So I kind of like took my soccer career a little bit more serious than I kind of like fell out of didn't fall out of love with acting, but definitely moved it to the back burner, and then picked it back up my freshman year of college and started doing school shows again. And then that kind of like transitioned into me doing some professional shows in Atlanta. And then I decided to make it a career choice. I think like my second year of college, and I was just like, my theater director always is like, "Hey, do you think that you can survive on beans for a little bit? Then you could probably be a professional actor." And I was like, "I think so." It's a funny little story there, but no, he kind of like really encouraged me to do that, and he was the artistic director of Theatrical Outfit in Atlanta, so he kind of put me in position with the kind of like the agents aspect of things, and then the headshots, which my first headshots were. I'm so glad that the internet wasn't around super heavy like back then to kind of like put all those out there like IMDb Pro or anything like that. But it was they weren't amazing.
I know. I hear you. I kind of laugh when I look back, a little bit embarrassed about seeing those first headshots.
Yeah, sure. Mine were black and white because I was transitioning out of the theater era to the film. So I shot black and white, and I instantly, first feedback I got from like my agent at the time, which was somebody that just kind of did like paid promo gigs. So it wasn't really like that too much of an agent, but they're like, "Hey, so the industry's shifting away from the theatrical like black and white headshots to like color. So we're going to need you to redo that." So I was like, plus I had one of the shell necklaces on. So like,
is it puka
yeah,
shell?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you were styling, man. You were styling with those puka shells. Well, it was really funny because when I went to color, I just remember my agent saying, "You went to color, this is like that's like the worst thing you could do." And there were still casting directors that wanted to see black and white. I'm like, okay, come on, guys, let's get with the program here. I mean, are we shooting black and white or are we shooting color? Don't you want to see what we look like in color? It's like, it's crazy.
So funny.
Well, so I've got a few pictures here of some things that you've done, and this is tell us about this project. This is a series called Will Trent. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. So this is a show. It's actually airing, and also they've been greenlit for their second season. It is on ABC as well as I believe ABC.com, Hulu, and Disney Plus. Since I think they're all Disney or ABC conglomerates. Anyway, so it's a 1 hour procedural. It is a really, really fun watch. It's a really good story. Ramon's fantastic in there. He plays the title character, Will Trent, who essentially kind of has like telepathy sort of aspects of his kind of like detective work, where he's very, very, very perceptive. I actually play a kind of a bad dude in this episode. It's
no, you're bad.
No, dude, I know I never ever get to play like bad dudes, except for apparently they are like, "Hey, this guy looks like he looks like wants to be in a drug gang," which I don't you see the show, it makes sense. I don't think I naturally have that essence.
Well, you're there in the hospital. You're there in a hospital gown, so
yeah. I get not to give too much away because you can actually check out the episodes, and you should because it's a really great show. But I end up getting shot and injured and then apprehended by Will Trent. I'm not going to give too much away about any of that, but it's a fun show and a fun episode, and it's episode 10. But again, check out the entire series.
Nice. I love it. So this is Love, Courage.
I keep getting hurt, man. They want to hurt me.
You're like beat up here, dude. Love, Courage, and the Battle of Bushy Run, right? And I'm excited about this because wasn't it Beverly Holloway that cast?
Holloway, yeah.
She didn't happen to call me, but
but you know what? If there was a role in it at all, you would have gotten the call because I know she loves you firsthand.
She's sweet, such a sweet lady, so sweet. Yeah. Well, tell us about this part.
This one here is I play a supporting role in this project here. It's again called the Love, Courage, and the Battle of Bushy Run. Initially, it was called the Battle of Bushy Run. It is set in 1763. I play Ensign James Lott in this. I'm very excited because the question keeps getting posed to me by people that like know I was involved in this because it's a, historically accurate tale. And they're like, well, Todd, when can we see this? And it just got, I think last month, I heard that it got international distribution and it will be on all major streaming networks. And I think a limited theatrical release. Yeah, man, just me getting roughed up some more.
Oh, wow. That's great, man. Yeah. It's so cool because I love these historical pieces. And
it was awesome
when you get to dress up like this and recreate these historical moments in time. It's pretty cool. I love this shot, by the way, too, because it looks pretty intense.
Yeah, this one. So we get so essentially the storyline of the Battle of Bushy Run is the French Indian War time period. So the French have started to kind of like fund the natives kind of insurrection to kind of like, and they've also started poisoning their minds a bit to kind of attack the British settlement because France was kind of the north and then, had like the New England area. But like Maine and like, of course, Canada's area was settled by the French. So they wanted to expand their territory. So this actual like event that's surrounding the film is Fort Pitt and the fact that it was actually taken and then was actually being able to be held by the British soldiers and the British regulars against the native attacks that were funded by the French. So at that point, had that not happened in American history, we would have possibly been speaking French.
Wow.
I know. It's a very, very cool story. I mean, like, so honored and happy to be a part of it. My character is actually a combination of a few characters. I kind of did some research on him as well, especially when you're playing historically accurate people, like we are in our.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of research. That's what people don't probably realize.
Yeah.
The typical viewer probably doesn't realize that we have to go through tons of research when we're playing a real life character. Well, I want to just say before I show this next shot, we've got some people on board too. And I want to tell you guys, you can comment live. We've got Annette on here. We've got Tina. We got Catherine. We got Kathy. We've got Cindy. We got Jack. And I think I'm saying that right. It might be Jackie. But we've got several people on. We've got Kathy. She's from Alaska, so it's really cool. She's here. I know Kathy. I think she's actually in Texas right now. But we've got Tina too. Did I say Tina? I want to make sure I mentioned Tina. She won last month, by the way, the contest that we had. So this is so great, you guys. So you can comment live. You can ask questions live. So if you've got any questions that come up for Todd, make sure you put them in the comment. I'll see if I can't. I want to make sure I get to those. But here we got this role here that maybe people are they going to be more, they're going to remember maybe seeing you in this commercial. So this is Mayhem with Allstate. So tell us about this.
This commercial is actually still currently airing. I think that they just did a final rebuy, which is great. So it's been airing the past 2 football seasons predominantly. It's been aired occasionally on some other stuff, but predominantly during college football season. It's called Big Day. And essentially, if you're not familiar with the Mayhem concept, it's that if you don't plan for like some specific aspects, or not even necessarily plan, but like whatever sort of like, if our situation is like we're getting married and my best man is a football obsessed, not paying attention to like what's his duties there, like at the actual ceremony, but versus like, I'm kind of trailing off and seeing like, they're trying to like watch the game, the big play, and like, some sort of major accident happens on this specific thing, like the pergola collapses and it goes into our car and it ruins the wedding cake, a chandelier collapse. It's a big stunt. It's a lot of fun. He falls back. He dusts off. We're like, what just happened? Walks off. He's like, you gotta, sorry.
I love those commercials. They're so much fun. It's comedic
Yeah.
And you can tell that the actor has a lot of fun doing those roles, but it's real life. I mean, things happen in real life, and I just thought it's a very clever way to say, hey, you need some insurance for stuff like this, that things that happen in life. But listen, so let's like transition into Struck, because okay, so here's the deal: you were already cast, and when I came on board, you were already cast, and you have this relationship with Wes and Amanda. So tell me a little bit. How did that happen? How did you guys meet? How did you get
That is
involved?
my real mustache. I know we were talking beforehand. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've seen you without your mustache. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Every single time we've
I've
seen
always seen you with a mustache, with a stash. Yeah, always.
Okay, cool. So Amanda and Wes and I met each other in Atlanta 14, 15 years ago, maybe. I was kind of like, I
Oh, wow.
was, yeah, I know. So it's been maybe around that. Yeah, it's no shorter than that for sure. Um, but yeah, we met each other via some of our kind of like mutual friends. They were in need of some extra people they were working on the project. Sid Roth's It's Supernatural at that point.
So that's in Atlanta that you guys
Correct. They
met.
were,
Okay. Okay.
and then so we did a couple. My wife and I, Kayla, who's an actress as well, an amazing person. She her and I both kind of did an extra role just to essentially to kind of like help them out.
Yeah.
There was a role that popped up, and I was able to play like one of the leads, Mike Shreve, in one of their episodes of that Sid Roth story. And then they kind of liked me enough to bring me on to the 168 Film Festival. They were basically they were producing the script that had won. It was I think it was originally titled A Clip in Time,
Yeah.
and surrounds basically just kind of like, again, just like these circumstantial events that would possibly happen if you kind of go down one route versus if you go down another route. And it's basically me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, and Amanda's here. She's online, and she says, "Hey."
I know we cashed in clip. I know. I wanted to go back before then. They were so generous with that. What was so funny is the story that you may or may not know, and I don't know, a lot of people I don't think know this. So when Carissa, who played my love interest in that project, her and I, they both were like they were both pretty set on us, or kind of, they thought they were set on us.
Right, right.
And then like we came to like read and audition for this project, and I don't know, I guess we just kind of like missed it. And we both thought, even because Clip is, if you haven't seen it, it's fantastic, but it's a comedy. We both read it super dramatically.
Well, you know, so many times as an actor, you don't know. And
Yeah.
sometimes they don't tell you it's a comedy, it's a drama. And so or it could be a slapstick comedy and you're playing it straight. You know, I mean, you just don't know. So it's
so straight that they were like, we don't think Todd it. We still think he's the guy because we think that he is the guy, but like, does he not know it's a comedy? So there was like, even to this day, we're like, you know, hey, it's a comedy.
It's so funny.
Funny,
So,
but yeah.
yeah, you know, and you know, they're not the most easy people to work with, Wes and Amanda.
No, not at all. I mean, geez. I wish that right?
Yeah, they can be difficult. No, they're really great, you guys. They're really great. I'm just giving them grief because I know they're on. I know at least Amanda's on. I don't know. I haven't seen Wes yet, but I know Amanda's on. So
No, I mean, they're both spectacular people, and they given me this incredible opportunity to, you know, to share John's story with the world. And, you know, I mean, I think that, and we can kind of get into it, I know, like a little bit further down the line. I want to talk about kind of like just that in general, as far as like what I hope to kind of like provide to John.
yeah,
As, you know, and I hope that, you know, I mean, you look at this story, there's so much intensity that happened and so many like incredible things. And like you hear researcher, explorer, like, young earth creationist, and like ICR, and like all these like, crazy sort of like super intellectual things. But like, he was such a genuine, like, from his recounts and like just having conversations with everybody about him. I was unfortunately unable to meet him prior to him passing away. But like, I want to bring just, this lighthearted sort of quick wit that he like was so like commonly known for, being just a genuinely kind, giving, funny person. But also at the same time, those other things are a part of his life. I mean, yeah, he looks, all business there, but like, and people's like recount of him, like he is a genuinely just like a little bit of a lighter like guy that had a great sense of humor. And I really wanted to like really target that and kind of like, not of course like make it all about that, but I think that that's kind of one of the reasons that they felt like I might
Yeah.
be the person to kind of
Well, and that's so cool because, Amanda, like she states, online here in the comments, she said you've got great comedy chops. And I think one of the things in speaking with Dalta and some of the people that knew John, that he had this kind of goofiness, he was very approachable. It was really interesting, I think, to see. I had a chance to meet him before he passed, and I think it's great that Wes and Amanda really want people to see his humor and want to see how he really was. Well, so tell me a little bit about how does it feel playing? And we talked about you playing this other role in Bushy Run. Now you're playing John, who was, like you said, this geologist, this modern day Indiana Jones, and we're going to show that epic adventure part of John's life in the series and what he had to do. But how does it feel specifically playing John?
There's a lot of weight initially, a lot of responsibility that sort of like carries, because like, arguably one of the most important figures in modern history, as far as like for arc exploration and just kind of like, proving that aspect was in fact, locating the ark would be probably the single most important historical like discovery ever. It's like, it's crazy. It's like that just puts into perspective everything. So to have that sort of thing on your shoulder whenever you're playing like somebody real, a real life person, you have to do just so much research and so much digging and reading his books and like reading recounts of people that like really had good relationships with him, and also seeing a lot of his like interviews online that were available. But then of course like getting to meet Dalta, like his wife. I mean, like they had such a great life together, and like you hate to see it cut short. So carrying that responsibility to kind of keep his story alive and get the word out there, because he's best kept secret. He's awesome, and people should know about him and his story, and all that. So it's great. It is.
I'm so glad that the series is going to explore more of his life, because I think people may have known different parts of John, the fun-loving part, the scientist, the geologist, what he risked. He risked so much because he believed in creationism, and he wanted to prove it, and he stood his ground. And I think people need to see that part of him. There's so many little aspects of his life that are huge. I mean, he spoke to thousands, probably millions of people about young earth and creationism. And he wrote over 20 books. I just think he was just this incredible man that was a little bit complex, but his whole drive was that he loved living life, but he wanted people to really know the truth. And
Yeah.
that's what's, I think, so exciting for you to play this role. So tell me a little bit, maybe what has been maybe some of the challenges? Because I mean, we've shot several different scenes, and I can't wait for people to see these scenes, and they'll be posted next year. So I can't wait for people to see the scenes. But what was it like shooting, and what were some of the challenges?
Initial challenge that you can't like obviously oversee is the challenge of not having met John and not like really like the million the questions I would have liked to ask him as his life. That first and foremost is obviously like the largest hurdle in my opinion. But I tried to kind of do everything I possibly could to find other avenues to really like get a hold of everything. It's that scene that you're showing like right now. I mean, like it was such a fun, incredible scene, but like, you see the snowstorm that we're in and like the opening shot of the trailer and the proof of concept. And it was, 65 or 66 degrees
Yeah.
outside Texas.
Right.
And we were in the parking lot and had a green screen and movie magic and potato flakes and all sort of whatever it took. A drone that flew this close to like my face. It felt like it. I couldn't like really open my eyes because I kept getting like peppered with the potato flakes / snowflakes.
It was pretty crazy because I'm watching this and I'm seeing you guys drudging this white slimy stuff, that you guys it's all on your boots and everything. You're dressed in full climbing gear. The huge fans are blowing. There's potato flakes flying, and you guys are doing your dialogue and doing the scene. And I'm thinking, okay, this looks kind of strange, but then there's this shot of you that we've got up right now where you're kind of like looking up, and it's right after in the trailer that we showed at the very top of the show. It's right after you get struck by lightning and you're thrown back, and you can see the full version. Go see the full version on strucktheseries.com, you guys, because it is incredible. But you're struck back, and I love that. And you're kind of recounting the memory to Dalta in the scene, and you just say, I just started praising God. And it's just this incredible moment, I think, in the proof of concept trailer. But people can kind of see what's going on here, the way it really looked when we were shooting it, and then the movie magic that was added by Wes later is just incredible.
It's wild. It was, I'm so glad that you brought that up. The kind of like the intercut between the two scenes was just nothing short of of incredible. And again, yes, please go check it out so you guys can see what we're talking about. But like they intercut the scene between Dalta and myself, between Kaylee and myself, with that right there, and kind of like the drone shot coming down, and just kind of like me just again sitting, just thinking, John's character thinking that knowing that was it. And then just had a voice that just popped in, was like, no, praise me, praise me, praise me. And did that. And then it just kind of like, it just, it's a comeback story. It's just like,
it's so powerful. And, and if you guys haven't seen it already, last episode, I got a chance to talk to Roger Losier. He's the surviving member of the climb who climbed with John. Gabe Baker plays him in the series. And so we had Gabe and Roger both. And so Roger recounts what actually happened. All three of them were struck by lightning, and they all were thrown back. And they kind of had to shake it off, and they continued climbing, continued searching, which is just mind blowing that they kept doing this. But yeah, I think it's incredible. It's such a great story. And it was great kind of hearing Roger's kind of recollection of what happened. And you guys can go to the YouTube channel and see the full episode. If you missed it, make sure you go to YouTube, Struck YouTube, and see. And you can go to the website. If you can't find us on YouTube, go to the website, click the YouTube icon, and you can go straight to it and see the Rogers episode. It was incredible. Well, I talked to Gabe also, and we had a great time. I mean, Ninja Warrior, musician, vocalist, actor. I mean, the guy's done it all, right?
Yeah, literally is the Roger character. I mean, like, just how many like lives are you talking about? Just it's so
exactly. So he was talking about the VW scene that we shot, and I want to pull that up because it's kind of cool that we've got a first kind of glimpse at what that looks like. But we just shot this just recently, and Amanda says, wait until you guys see all the new footage because this is going to be incredible. But we're actually compiling some new scenes. We're going to actually do a torch video, which we're going to release later. So I can't wait for you guys to see all that with special effects and all kinds of wonderful stuff. But tell us a little bit about what happens in this scene, because here's one of the things that I love about the scene is that it really does show John's character.
Yeah. That was one of the things that we really needed to kind of like capture. So the kind of like the whole reasoning behind the scene, and I'm excited to see. I'm like looking like at all the different like aspects about this, like the background and like things, and just I'm super excited because I haven't seen this either. So this is the first time that I'm seeing it. So I'm giddy as well. But it definitely like targets into the sort of like the mishaps along the way, kind of like starts introducing like the things that just were working against them. And honestly, it's really could have been used as some sort of like, I guess, sort of similar situation for our project. We had a lot of things that felt like they were working against us when we were shooting. And, Devil just playing just spiritual warfare the entire time. So it was really cool to kind of like have that scene and show the resiliency of John, and like then kind of like the relationship between the three, and like you can tell that they were, even though it was like a bit of bickering in this specific scene, and kind of like overcoming that as a group, the chemistry and the unity was just they were brothers, and also at the tail end of the scene you get to see just like how passionate John is about just like his gratitude and his faithfulness, and just he gets fired up like his in life, and in this scene he shares his passion of God and like love for God in this scene. It's awesome, so I'm excited to see it too.
It really is cool. And I was there when we were shooting it, and I love that you get a chance to see. We have Todd Terry, who plays JB John Boltima, and we have Gabe Baker that plays Roger, and of course yourself, Todd. It's such a great scene because one of the things I love the snow climbing scene. You guys are yelling at each other. It's crazy, lightning around. There's a blizzard going on. But what's so cool about it is with the VW scene is you get a chance to see who these guys really are, and this camaraderie that you guys have. But yet you've been together, you've experienced some rough patches along the way. You're in Turkey, and you don't know anyone, and you're trying to get permits, you're trying to get to the mountain, you want to do all these things. But I mean, there's all these hurdles you guys have to jump through, and there's some tension there. But I love the scene, and it's so wonderful to kind of see who John was through that scene.
He steadfast. I mean, like he, of course you talk about the tension that was going on. I mean, like, getting Rob Van not being there, hotel, like all the things that could have realistically possibly been wrong in the story. And again, like this is just like you really see him being able to to kind of he's trust, his trust is so like powerful,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's gonna work out. And he needs those guys to believe him because they have put a lot of their faith of men of faith, of course, but they put you're risking everything at that point to go on this expedition.
Yes.
And things start, the wheels start metaphorically falling off. It starts really being easy to second guess.
Right.
And
Right.
right. So it's
Second guess your faith, and why you're
exactly
there, and
those good.
you're in a foreign country, you don't know anyone. I mean, all those things, and you're kind of very vulnerable to the
Yeah.
elements, too. I know that it was really interesting last month when we talked to Roger, that he said they went to Mount Hood because it's similar conditions to Mount Ararat. Back in 1972, they went and they did some training there. And Roger, he was only 23, but he had grew up in Africa, and he had climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, I don't know how many times, but he started when I want to say he was like 8 or 9. He was very young when he started climbing. So he was like he was one of the youngest guys, but he also was the most experienced climber. So it's interesting to see that dynamic. And here's the cool thing that I love about Struck is there's so many talented people. Yourself, you've got Cameron Arnett, who plays Asa. I play Noah, and so he's my nemesis. He's amazing in his role. You've got, like we said, Todd Terry, who plays JB. You've got Gabe Baker, who plays Roger. You've got, Giannis, who plays your dad, Henry Morris. And let's see, who else? Kaylee, of course. And I wanted to mention Kaylee because you guys have such incredible chemistry together. And tell me a little bit about this scene you guys have in working with Kaylee.
Man, I could go on. I could make an entire hour-long podcast about how spectacular it was to work with her. Just from the moment that we sat down next to each other, having briefly met, we when we were doing kind of like the casting for this role, she her and I was able to kind of get on and Skype with some of the other actresses because I think the majority were in the Texas area, and I was in Georgia at that time. And I think my phone had I was trying to get online, and it just the phone died or something along those lines. And so we got to see each other for maybe 2 minutes on that, and we were just getting past the hitting it off and getting just to talk for a second before we went into the scene. But prior to that, or after that rather, the first time that we saw each other was on the day we shot this scene. So the chemistry was there from the get-go. I think that you can't really point to anybody except for God directing Amanda and Wes to the right person, and then that led to this scene and the extraordinary feeling between the two, and the closeness, because it's a heavy little scene, which is also why I'm glad that they cut it up a little bit with the the lightning and the snowstorm, because it's man, I know that you need those scenes, and but it's just it was so real and raw, and the connection was there, that it was just it was great.
Yeah,
She's art, so.
Yeah, she is. And again, to play real characters, people that real life characters, people that live those lives. I love the story that Wes and Amanda tell, that they had written that scene, and then they of course they had to do a lot of research when they were writing that scene. And the scene is basically when you guys are going to get married, and I think you kind of sort of propose, but not really. You've got to see the whole scene. But John suffered with multiple sclerosis while he was doing all these expeditions, while he was playing Indiana Jones. he also had that he was
Yeah.
dealing with, which I think it's going to be covered. And I just love that we're going to cover the human side of John too and his struggles. But it's a great scene. And, I first saw the full scene at John's memorial. John passed away, and many people may not know this, but he worked with Wes and Amanda, and Dalta worked with them on a lot of research, and we're using his journals. So we capture his life the way it really was. But he was such a humble man. And like I said, I got the privilege of meeting him very early on, but unfortunately, he passed away, and it was complications dealing with his MS. But he lived this amazing life. And the first time I saw that scene of you guys was at his memorial. And it was so moving because they're talking about John. They're talking about his life, and they had all these people, scientists, friends, family members get up and talk about John and his life. And then they play that scene, and we're like, there wasn't a dry eye in the house because his family's there. And of course, they're seeing you portraying John and seeing this incredible project for the first time. And I know Dalta was moved by it. So tell me this. I mean, I know to me, it's one thing to play an actual real life person, but I know Dalta was on set, especially at the VW scene that we just recently shot. How did that make you feel, playing her husband and meeting her? And did you get a chance to talk to her about John, about his life?
Briefly. Again, that's like something that you have to go and like really just, plan out like weeks of like being there. And like, because, when you're talking to somebody about, their significant other and how like their relationship for such a long time, there's so many like things that you want to say and tell them, but like that you like, it's kind of like that hierarchy of just like, it's like an onion, you start like really like peeling off that this story leads to this story and this story leads to this. And so it would, I haven't had an opportunity to do that fully yet, but she was every bit of just elegance personified, man. She is such a warm, incredibly just powerful presence. And, it's very easy to see like her love for John was still so prevalent, and still, her her desire to kind of see this whole thing come to fruition is definitely there as well. She definitely gifted me a few things that were personal items of John's, and just you couldn't help but just like feel just her warmth all over you after having met her and like do the scene. And it's just like it's such an honor to have her there, have her be a part of it. And again, like it's amazing. She's incredible.
Yeah, that's so cool. I've gotten a chance to get to know her as well through all this, and I'm so glad that she's here, that she can kind of give us that insight to his life. She lived it alongside of him and saw the ups and downs. But I was so excited that she got a chance to be on set when you guys were doing the van scene. And I saw her just peeking over, and because there's a green screen there, you guys are in the van, there's camera equipment, there's crew, and I saw her kind of leaning over and watching the monitor and hearing the scene, and it kind of hit me. I'll be honest with you, it kind of moved me, because I'm thinking, here she is, seeing her life and her husband's life kind of recreated. It's pretty impactful. So yeah, that's incredible, man. That's so
yeah.
Cool.
And also to kind of like piggyback off the story of the scene between Kaylee and I mean, like we've got all these different like materials to pull from and things along those lines, but like when Amanda and Wes wrote it, like I think you were saying, they just like that's like how incredible God has been a part of this project. I mean, like she read it and they shot the scene, and she's like, yeah, they didn't talk to her about that scene. They're like, yeah, that's pretty much how it went. And it's like, what? They just pulled that out of thin air.
It's like it's one of the God moments in this project, and how everything has been kind of put together, and it's so miraculous. And there's so many mini miracles and big miracles that have happened, and that was one of them. That they kind of wrote the scene, and when Dalta saw it, she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is how it happened." Much, you know. So it's so cool. Well, listen, there's so many great people in this project. You know, we've got, of course, Wes and Amanda, James Burgess, who's an amazing DP. We've got the incredible cast, and I love this shot of you two kind of cutting up because you're constantly, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, people don't realize when you're acting that you've got the over the shoulder shots, you've got the master shots, you've got different, you know, two-for shots and close shots and all these different things that you're doing. And you guys are eating in the scene. And so, you know, how much food did you eat during this scene?
You know, we had to go through a handful of pies. I'm glad that they had more than one piece, because getting down to it, and it was actually really, really yummy too. So it was like not my fault. It was a delicious pie that they provided, and I was like, okay, cool.
So you didn't have to act out bad pie. You had to make it look like it was a good pie. It was a good pie.
Yeah, I imagine Dalta's is probably better.
Probably so.
It was really,
well,
really.
Here you are with your on-screen dad, Giannis. And it's a completely different scene. I love this scene too, because it kind of sets the stage of really what they gave up, you know, what they Henry, his dad, you know, was this professor at Virginia Tech, and he was really struck by God with creationism. So he had to risk his reputation and you know, really proclaim to the world that he believed not in evolution but in creationism. And then this, on the same track, John, he kind of urges John to do some little research and hands him that manuscript about the ark, and it kind of sets John on this journey afterwards.
That's, you know, I'm so glad that we're talking about this, because and again, with this series, you know, you deep dive into, you have the ability to kind of like to really like dig your heels in and kind of get the aspect of everything. Because during this scene, the timeline that had kind of like was going through is that Henry presents John with the manuscript of the Ark of Noah, and just essentially John is nowhere in the same stratosphere of like considering this as like an aspect of something that he would like do right now. He's like, okay, you know, he's out living his life in Los Angeles and then, you know, eventually down to San Diego. But like, yeah, I mean, like he was nowhere on the path, and this was the kind of like, this was the turning point. So although you don't necessarily see like that aspect, you see him take the manuscript in the scene. I don't think that I can say that. I don't think that's giving away too many plot points, but you do see now.
Yeah, it sets him on the journey. Like Amanda says, he had ark fever after that, and he was really struck by God to go after this thing and do all those expeditions. And here you are with Todd Terry, another incredible actor. Todd is currently on Vindication. He was in Running the Bases, you guys. This is a very incredible actor. So glad we got him involved in the project. And I was talking to someone the other day. He's actually shooting a Western right now. So it's just really cool to get him on the project. He plays JB, John Boltema, in the series. But just, you know, it was good seeing you guys working together. And of course, Sue Ellen and Stan Burke. Man, just Sue Ellen is our executive producer.
And this thing together.
Advisor. Yes. Just great people. I mean, I'm telling you, we are so blessed and honored to be really doing this thing with so many great people. And Sue Ellen actually had the vision to do this as a film about John's life. It later has evolved into this series, the streaming series like The Chosen, and it's involving Noah. And I'm so glad that changed because I get to play Noah.
Yeah. You keep hitting on that point of being like, we have so many like this project has been just incredibly like blessed in and of itself. Like, yeah, I mean, Kimberly on there, she's a producer and she's also super incredible. You know, she's our, hype man for God for sure.
Yes, she is.
Like, but like, yeah, I mean, like you guys, and then Catherine, who plays your wife, and just like, Cam, like everybody's so incredible, and just the feeling behind, like, I mean, it's almost like a tangible sort of like feeling, like you could actually reach out and touch it, like how kind of like the Holy Spirit's moving through this project and just being like propelling it forward. Something happens, and then like 3 better things happen down the line that like may not have happened if you didn't, have the one set. Like, you just can't ignore it. I mean, like
it is, and I think that's what makes Struck so different is that you've got good people that really want to portray these real lives, and how they both were struck by God. You want people to see the real lives of these people, and people are so, everyone involved are so passionate, and I failed to mention, oh my gosh, Catherine Franco is so incredible, you guys. She plays my wife, as Todd, you mentioned, and I failed to mention Catherine, but we want to definitely. Yeah, thank you for that teamwork, dude. I appreciate that. Catherine is incredible, you guys. She, it's so authentic and genuine, and I can't. Again, another scene that you guys really haven't seen. You see a little bit of her in the trailer, but wait until you see that full scene where you see Noah. A lot of people don't think about this, but after the flood, after everything happens, man, there's Noah and his wife and his family on the ark. What was that like? And they heard the people screaming outside, and the Lord said he shut the door, so they couldn't open the door for their friends or their family that were screaming to get in when the flood hit. And so we're going to look at all that in the series. So make sure you get involved, you guys. Make this series happen. I'm telling you, it is going to be amazing. And Todd, listen, we've only got a couple minutes left. So listen, thank you, dude, for being here, for being a part of this. Thank you so much. I'm going to close this out. But listen, get involved, you guys. Let's do this together. We can make Struck happen. Again, I'm going to mention the website. Go to strucktheseries.com. Get involved. Click on Lightning Club. Join the movement. Get involved. Be a part of this incredible, momentous series. We need you guys to be involved. Get on the socials. Like us on all the socials, because that's going to help us too when we're presenting this to the distributors next month. We need you guys. We need you involved, and purchase the Struck merchandise. Go to strucktheseries.com, click merch, purchase merchandise, use that Struck 10. That's very important because the Struck 10 is going to give you that amazing discount. So you want to use that. And we love you guys. We're so thrilled that we get a chance to come to you and tell you a little bit more about the series. Join us every month right here on the Facebook page for Struck, and we're going to give you more and more insight each and every time. Listen, we love you guys, and we want to wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you for being involved, and we will see you soon.